Joining me today is New Hampshire Representative Steve Smith. So Steve, you're chair of the Transportation Committee.
I am.
And I realize that that's not the roads and the bridges, but it's making sure that things go over those roads and bridges.
Yep, and car regulations, car inspections, rail policy, bus policy, things like that.
I have a couple of questions. Sort of, what are the issues that we ought to know that the committee's involved with, short range, long range? But the other one is, how tied is transportation to attracting businesses to the state? Is that a big economic, do you guys talk about that?
Yeah, I guess also it depends on the kind of business. Tourism, I think it's overstated because they expect New Hampshire to be a little rough and rural, and that's why they're coming here. If you're putting in new factories, then sure, they're going to want some heavier infrastructure, although they're probably going to choose their location based on that. I know years back, there was a brewery that was considering locating in Claremont because it had rail access. So things of that nature. What I'm more concerned about, though, is how we move people around. Not enough attention gets paid to that.
So, well, let's pay a little attention to that. What are the issues about moving people around? Why is that important?
Well, it's important because pick your issue. You care about the environment, so you want to reduce pollution, get cars off the road. Good, let's find a way to solve that. The roads are getting beat up, so we want to find a way to get cars off the road. I'm concerned about traffic. Well, we need public transportation. Too often we talk about mass transportation, and you live here, we don't have any masses, so that's frankly silly. What we need something is more lightweight, that goes when it's needed and doesn't go when it's not needed. And too often we get locked in a funding battle that has nothing to do with solving a problem. We fight about the money, but not solving the problem. The bus service here from Claremont to Lebanon, classic example. That bill should never have been brought. And I know it won't be very popular for your audience, but I fought hard against that because there is bus service that goes up and down the other side of the river. And your body's circulatory system, you got veins, you got arteries, we got capillaries. If something's wrong with your veins or your arteries, you're real upset. You ever talk about your capillaries? No, but it doesn't work without that. So somebody living in the outskirts, how are they going to get to the bus? And when we have these funding fights, the classic argument, and it's true, is, well, I've seen those buses, the Community Alliance transportation buses. They run around half empty all the time, so why are we going to put more money into that? They're right. And when the bus is only half full, you're not saving the road, you're not saving the environment. Those 4 or 5 people might as well use their cars because they had to use a car or something to get to the bus. There are solutions that could be worked on, and they're not, because we always fight about the money. For trains, we had passenger service in 1838. It's ancient technology. Personal rapid transit should be looked at.
So what are some of the solutions that we ought to be thinking about?
New systems that, particularly for here where we live,
and the Claremont, Newport,
sure,
this part of Vermont, New Hampshire.
Yes, and including the capillaries in it. So what we should do is, before we even talk about a funding fight for a new bus route or a train or anything, we need to evaluate the resources that we have and grid it out and see, well, here's the map, and here are my veins and arteries, and how do I get the capillaries tied into that? A great example is a guy said that we could probably do cab service for what the Community Alliance Transportation Service buses do. Okay, I don't know if that's true, but we just got locked in a funding battle, never talked about it. You've heard of Heathrow Airport? Okay, so when you're at Heathrow, it's huge. It's sprawling. And you want to get to a terminal or you rent a lot, you go to a PRT station and you hit a button and a little car comes, seats 4 people, and it's in a dedicated track. You get into the thing and you punch in your destination, swipe your card, and off you go. It's perfect. It gets you to where you want to go, and when nobody's using it, it doesn't move. It doesn't use gas, it doesn't use electricity, it sits there. It's these type of things that we need to work on. We had a bill, I brought the bill 4 years ago in the New Hampshire House because we had a guy that wanted to spend $500 million of his own money trying one of these systems in New Hampshire, and all he wanted from the government was regulatory package so that they're protected. Believe it or not, businesses do like a minimal level of regulation. It's safer. And they were willing to help us with that, and a little help with access to state highway rights of way so we could build these things. It was a new idea. I think I pulled 45 votes, and people view it as science fiction. But we have millions of people working on apps for your phone, video games. If they could take that creativity and drive,
push it toward
yes,
transportation.
and inspiration, and it doesn't have to be. I mean, the space shuttle was science fiction, wasn't it?
Well,
so was flying to the moon.
At one point.
Yes.
But right now, what's not science fiction is we're out of time. But when we return, we're going to talk a little bit more about politics and the people coming to New Hampshire. So please stay with us.